Hey everybody, we are going to make a ribbon wreath with poly burlap. I know, that probably didn't make any sense. We're going to make a cone petal and lay a piece of ribbon inside. And that's going to be the ribbon. So right now all I am doing is cutting pieces of the red burlap into 10-inch squares. And I am wood burning this. And I'm sorry I can't really zoom in, but if you have ever seen poly burlap before, you know that it has these stripes because they weave it in a basket style pattern, but very narrow compared to a basket. And it's excuse me, so you've got lines running that way and you have lines running this way. When you cut, you want to stay directly in between two of the vertical lines this way. I hope you can see that, and I hope that that made some sort of sense. I just use clips at the end of my glass to make sure that the piece is staying stationary for me when I go to cut it. It's especially nice when you're toward the end of a roll and the mesh curls up on you while you're trying to cut it. But you definitely want to wood burn poly burlap. It will fray like mad if you cut it. And sometimes it'll feel like the lines are swerving down and they're not straight, and that's okay. Just go slow enough so you can stay in that line. Don't let it scare you. It's not rocket science. If you jump a line, it's not the end of the world. I did it a lot in the beginning, and I think I've still done it a couple of times. Just not paying attention, or the line wasn't that wide to begin with for me to follow it well. It just depends. Lots of different reasons, but if you go slow enough, then you won't jump the line usually. Give me a second, I gotta let my dogs in. You guys both need your nails trimmed, I think. Yeah, so I like woke up and came straight to doing this. Because I really wanted to make a wreath. I thought I had a dream about making this, but I think in the middle of the night I must have been looking at Facebook or something and probably seen it. Somebody else make it. But I have new insomnia medication I take, so I'm still trying to get used to it. And I'm going to do this on a 10-inch frame, I think. Pretty sure I'm going to do it on a 10-inch. I'm not sure how many pieces that I'm going to need, obviously. I've never made this wreath before. But I can guess Well, I've been sitting here talking to myself for a while. I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these petals thinking I was recording. Good grief. Well, let me just get this one fixed up here and we'll start again. But anyway, that is what our petal is going to look like when we're done. Okay, so we're doing inverted dovetail on the ribbons, basically just making it come to a point is what you're doing. And then we have our red poly burlap that we just cut. We want our finished edge on the top left and the bottom right, and curl side up. In the diamond pattern, you can do bottom corner to top or top to bottom. It does not matter. You'll just be spinning it or something. Okay, so once we have this all smushed down and this is lined up, right, we're gonna take our piece of ribbon and we're gonna lay it in the center about a ½ inch down from the tip up here. Then we are going to fold this side in. The tip is just slightly over the side of the ribbon. And then same with this one, slightly over the edge of the ribbon. Okay, and then you should have what looks like a house, sort of, with a piece of ribbon in it. Now you're going to curl in that side. You need a lot of fingers here, guys. Curl in this side. And then one more on each side, okay? And then we're going to scrunch it, grab it at the bottom here, take a 6-inch zip tie, and I'll tell you in a second how short or long or whatever your tail is gonna be, okay? You roughly want about an inch, or that's about an inch of the red burlap. So you want to go about an inch up from the bottom of that. The reason I'm not counting all the way to the bottom is because we have ribbon that's sticking out below the bottom. Okay? And you basically want your petals to be about 6 inches, and I think that's what all of mine are. Hopefully. Hopefully I didn't just lie to you. Okay, and then just kind of pull the rolls open just a smidge, and there you have your cone petal with the ribbon inside. Okay, I'm gonna do that 4 more times for right now, and then I'm gonna give myself a break before we finish this. All right, so top left, bottom right for your finished edges. Go down, go up. It does not matter which way you go. Not with this flower anyway. You want to line up this tip here and put a clip on it, and then just lay it down and gently flatten it. That way you're not pulling out, you know, from there. You don't want to like really hold this down if you're going to, you know, like rub your hands across anything. Just so you don't pull that out of your clip and make it go crooked for you. Okay, so we're going to line Santa up again in the center. We're going to bring this side, the tip just past or at the edge of the ribbon. Okay, same with this side. Okay, and we should have a pretty even house here. Then I like to turn it to do the rest of my rolling. And you can roll completely in one side and then do the other. I really don't see where that would be any kind of issue. I've done it before and never had an issue, so. Now see, my ribbon's crooked there, so I'm gonna open this back up just to this point, and I'm going to fix my ribbon. And that's still not better. Hold on. There. I think that'll do it. Yeah, it's a little crooked, but it's up higher where I want it. Is it too crooked? Yeah. Damn it. There. Yep, sometimes you just gotta play with it until it does what you want it to do. And it always will. It's just sometimes it takes a little time. Okay, another cone petal with the ribbon inside. All right, so we're gonna take bottom corner to top corner, I guess. Again, it really doesn't matter. Just line everything up and then grab your clip and stick it on the tip there. And then just kind of slowly come back and flatten everything here. Grab your ribbon, line it up as best you can. And then bring this side over. And then bring this side over. Grab your zip tie, wrap it around. Take off your clip, open that up just a little bit. And there you go, another cone petal with a ribbon in it. Okay, I got two more. And I do not believe I can zoom in. No. Of course, it won't let me. I bought something that is supposed to let me zoom in, but it's not working. I think I returned it. I hope I returned it. Your ribbon, line it up about 1/2 inch, fold that baby over, and then fold that baby over. Pull this side in, and then this side in. Let's make sure we're still in the center. Yeah, looking good. Just fold each one in again. And just kind of open them up a little bit. And there's another cone petal with ribbon inside. Last one, guys, and then I'll make the rest. And I'll go nice and slow here again for this last one. Let me just get a drink. All right. So we'll go ahead and do top to bottom. Well, here, I promised I'd start from the get-go. Finished edge, top left, bottom right, curl side up, put it into a diamond shape on your desk or your cutting mat or table, floor, wherever you're working. Normally I would take the top to the bottom, which you can do that. It's not a big deal. We're just lining this up. Okay? And then I'm still gonna end up spinning it around, so it does not matter. Okay, just gonna walk our hands back, smooth this down a little bit, keeping our point at the tip. Then we're going to lay our ribbon down about a ½ inch. If you guys can see that, about a ½ inch. Okay, now we're gonna take this side and bring the tip to the opposite side of the ribbon edge. Same with this one, just to the edge of the ribbon, and then flatten that down. And then while you're at this stage, if you need to fix your ribbon here. The easiest thing. Okay, now you can turn it or just keep it straight. It's up to you. We're gonna fold that side in once, and we're gonna fold this side in once. And I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna check that my ribbon is still, because I can still slide it, move it just a smidge if I need to. And then I'm gonna roll in again and roll in again, okay? And our point should be center all the way up from the rolls. And if that's matching up, then you did it perfectly. Okay, now what I am gonna do before I pause this is I'm gonna load up our frame a little bit just to kind of see how it's going. Because these are pretty big petals. Get a few zip ties out. Now I'm trying to think, I might actually want to flip it over and go this way. Which I could do that, it's not a big deal. Okay guys, I went ahead and I put one petal on just to see real quick what it was gonna look like and if I wanted the frame to go this direction. So I have the frame curling up instead of the normal where it kind of curls down. So I call it upside down. And the way I'm putting these petals on is we're going to have them about 1 inch apart from each other at the base. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to use bars 1 and 2. I'm still going to hook that zip tie nub behind bar 1. Okay, and then we're going to pull that tight. Not all the way tight. You'll see in a second. And now we're going to zigzag the opposite direction. Okay, and I'm going to show you here because we are grabbing both bars. Let me just show you real quick here. Okay. You see the double crisscrossed, and if I turn it over, you can see that that X is taking up both bars. Okay, that's going to keep your petals from like flopping back and forth or up and down. Because trust me, they do. They certainly do. Okay, so I'm just going to get that zip tie ready. I'm going to hook behind bar 1. And then we're going to go the other direction. See, they won't. I could fan somebody. They're not flopping or flipping anywhere. Okay, so we're just gonna keep doing that with the petals that I have here. And then I am gonna take a break. I think it's looking kind of pretty. Boy, I'm really bending that in. Okay, so you guys want these to be about 1 inch away from each other. And then these up here should just lay perfectly well. Should being the operative word. Oops. Oh, I was thinking I had to make another petal. That's not what I'm doing. Now, I will say you don't want to play with them too much. or it will start to fray. On these couple that are splitting apart, I want to try and put like a little tiny dab of glue to keep the tips together better. Yeah, I'll probably do that. Oh, I don't have any more ribbon cut. I am going to need so much more of this. Cutting the ribbon at 7 inches. Probably could go 6.5 or even 6 inches. I'm probably wasting ribbon, but we'll get to that if I have to. I'm probably going to use this whole spool of ribbon probably. All right, we're gonna grab our ribbon, place it in the center. Look, if I have that at 22 and that at, right, 6 and 22, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not doing any measuring, I'm eyeballing it. Okay, and then we're gonna bring this tip over to the outside edge of the ribbon. Flatten that down. Hold it however it's easiest for you. Okay, do the same thing with this one. Just over to that edge. Flatten that down. And then you wanna check your ribbon. If it needs slid or fixed or anything, you want to do that now. Before we start rolling in the edges. So I'm going to roll that edge in and that edge. We're still okay. And then we're going to do one more here and one more there. take that clip off. We're going to do a little dab of hot glue because I can tell that that's not going to line up right. And just set that aside. Rub hot glue off my fingers and do another one. Okay, again, if you need to fix your ribbon, slide it, pull on it, whichever direction you need it to go. And then fold in a side, fold in a side. Then roll each side in one more time to meet each other. And then gather it at the bottom. I know it's very thick. About you want your zip tie to be at about the 6-inch mark from the tip down to here. And that ends up leaving you about 1 inch of the red with a little ribbon sticking out. So go by the red if you're going to count up from the bottom, 1 inch. Wow, my freezer sounds like a cow mooing. That's kind of odd. That one looks like it's staying together pretty perfectly. You only get a few of those. Okay, now, once you have this folded, fix your ribbon and get it to the center. Make sure you're still pretty well centered with your ribbon. Okay, and then we're going to roll it in one more time from both sides. Something didn't work out there. There, that's better. Oh, it's not perfect, but it'll be all right. I'm not undoing it. I really thought that was gonna stay straight. Yow! That was hot on the nail. Oh, for fuck's sake. All right. You missed me putting on more petals. That's all. And I'll show you again how to do it. My phone keeps... I might be running out of memory and it's why it keeps stopping. But I'm only making one more right now, and that's going to finish our outside row. All right, so just keep this lined up as best you can. Keep your edges lined up after you clip it. And we're going to take our, you only need a 6-inch piece of ribbon, okay? And then you do an inverted dovetail on it, lay it in the center, fold that side over where the tip is just over the edge of the ribbon. Same with this side. And then just flatten that down so you have like a house. Okay, and then just check your ribbon because it probably shifted one direction or the other. Okay, and then once you have your ribbon set again, we're going to roll in that side once. And we're going to roll in this side once. Okay, we're going to stop and we're going to double check. Is our ribbon getting pushed? Is it okay? And then we're going to roll in from each side again. Okay, and then just make sure that the line is even with the tip, the crease, the fold, whatever the heck you want to call it. And then wrap your zip tie around the bottom. About 1 inch of red should be showing. And once you lay this down and measure the petal, it should be 6 inches. And I think this one is okay. I don't think I need to glue that. So we're just gonna go ahead and add these last 4 petals on. Let's turn that off. And grab us 4 zip ties. No, 8 zip ties. So we need 2 for each petal. Now I'm going to take a break when this is done. As many times as this has quit recording on me, I have not taken a break yet. Well, we're gonna do over here and figure out where I'm gonna need that. I might actually still be one short, guys. Okay, this one should be fun. Right at the crossbar. Like literally right at the crossbar. So I think we're gonna have to go over the crossbar. What do you guys think? Oh, that's a 10-inch. This flower is going to measure 22 inches from starting it on a 10-inch frame. Pretty darn cool. All right, but again, like I said, I need a break. So more later, and I swear I'll try to remember to make sure this damn phone is recording. Okay, guys, we're gonna continue folding our petals here. So I have my ribbon laying right here in the center, lined up with the tip. And then I'm going to fold this over. Just the tip is just a hair past the edge of the ribbon there. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. All right, and now you have a little house with your ribbon laying in it, which at this point here, you want to adjust and shift your ribbon if it needs it. If you need to pull it up a little bit or to the left or the right a little bit, now's the time to do that. Fold that side in. And we're going to fold this side in a little. We're going to stop and we're going to check again our ribbon, make sure it's all good. And we're going to roll that in one more time and roll that in one more time. And then grab it at the bottom. Make sure everything is lined up. And then take a zip tie. And just pull that tight. And we're going to take the clip off and see if it's laying right. It's sort of separating. You might have to put a tiny bit of glue in there. Might be nice if I get some glue out. Okay, there's another one made. Binkley, get over here, Nate. Binkley. Eat your food. Eat. Eat your food. I have no clue how many I have on the wreath already, and no clue how many I'm still gonna need. Binkley, why aren't you eating? Do you have to go potty? We're not there yet. Oh, she's been done. She probably went back in my room, and then when I didn't come in. Can you wait until he's done? Bink. Bankley, come eat your food. I'm putting his food dish in the fridge instead of the freezer. Maybe he thinks it's later than it is or something. Because I'm filming. Every now and then you get one that wants to give you trouble. The fold on the mesh was great. It was just the ribbon. All right, we got 4 more and then we'll start putting them on and see what else I need to cut, because I've already cut an entire roll. So I'll have to open another roll. If I need more. trying to get glue off my fingers. I am one piece of ribbon short. That's too funny. Actually, I'm not really. Let's see if I can use this tiny 5.5-inch piece. Instead of opening a new spool right now, just use that. Yeah, just so you know, you guys can cut your ribbons at 5 or 6 inches. You don't have to cut them any higher or longer than that. And a problem with that is that you may not grab any of the ribbon in your zip tie. So I might have to glue that piece of ribbon just to be on the safe side. Oh no, I don't think I'm going to be able to squeeze these. These aren't going to be able to get squeezed like the other ones. More toast on here. Got a little bit more than halfway done. Not too shabby, huh, guys? I love that they're angling up. All right, where are you coming apart at? Yeah, go ahead. Call me anal retentive. Wow. That's probably not good. I think I need to loosen some of these up. Pulling the bar too much. No joke. The bar was sticking all the way out on the other side. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but yeah, definitely had these on too tight. Be careful of that. I think I better put one out here just to kind of hold that frame together. You see how that's sticking out over there? Nice big gap. All right, I had to do that so I could keep the frame straight. Oh, I don't have any more ribbon cut. going to need so much more of this. Cutting the ribbon at 7 inches. Probably could go 6.5 or even 6 inches. I'm probably wasting ribbon, but we'll get to that if I have to. I'm probably going to use this whole spool of ribbon probably. All right, we're gonna grab our ribbon, place it in the center. Like if I have that at 22 and that at, right, 6 and 22, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not doing any measuring, I'm eyeballing it. Okay, and then we're gonna bring this tip over to the outside edge of the ribbon, flatten that down, hold it however it's easiest for you. Okay, do the same thing with this one, just over to that edge, flatten that down, and then you want to check your ribbon. If it needs slid or fixed or anything, you want to do that now. Before we start rolling in the edges. So I'm going to roll that edge in and that edge. We're still okay. And then we're going to do one more here and one more there. Take that clip off. We're going to do a little dab of hot glue because I can tell that that's not going to line up right. And just set that aside. Rub hot glue off my fingers and do another one. Okay, Again, if you need to fix your ribbon, slide it, pull on it, whichever direction you need it to go. And then fold in a side, fold in a side. Then roll each side in one more time to meet each other. And then gather it at the bottom. I know it's very thick. About, you want your zip tie to be at about the 6-inch mark from the tip down to here. And that ends up leaving you about 1 inch of the red with a little ribbon sticking out. So go by the red if you're going to count up from the bottom, 1 inch. Wow, my freezer sounds like a cow mooing. That's kind of odd. That one looks like it's staying together pretty perfectly. You only get a few of those. Okay, now, once you have this folded, fix your ribbon and get it to the center. Make sure you're still pretty well centered with your ribbon. Okay, and then we're going to roll it in one more time from both sides. Yeah, something didn't work out there. There, that's better. Oh, it's not perfect, but it'll be all right. I'm not undoing it. Oh, I really thought that was gonna stay straight. Yo. That was hot on the nail. All right. You missed me putting on more petals. That's all. And I'll show you again how to do it. My phone keeps... I might be running out of memory and it's why it keeps stopping. But I'm only making one more right now, and that's going to finish our outside row. All right, so just keep this lined up as best you can. Keep your edges lined up after you clip it. Then we're going to take our, you only need a 6-inch piece of ribbon, okay? And then you do an inverted dovetail on it, lay it in the center, fold that side over where the tip is just over the edge of the ribbon. Same with this side. And then just flatten that down so you have like a house, okay? And then just check your ribbon because it probably shifted one direction or the other. Okay, and then once you have your ribbon set again, we're going to roll in that side once, and we're going to roll in this side once. Okay, we're going to stop and we're going to double check. Is our ribbon getting pushed? Is it okay? And then we're going to roll in from each side again. Okay, and then just make sure that the line is even with the tip, the crease, the fold, whatever the heck you want to call it. And then wrap your zip tie around the bottom. About 1 inch of red should be showing. And when you lay this down and measure the petal, it should be 6 inches. And I think this one is okay. I don't think I need to glue that. So we're just going to go ahead and add these last 4 petals on. Let's turn that off. And grab us 4 zip ties. No, 8 zip ties. So we need 2 for each petal. Now I'm going to take a break when this is done. As many times as this has quit recording on me, I have not taken a break yet. Well, we're gonna do over here and figure out where I'm gonna need that. I might actually still be one short, guys. Okay, this one should be fun. Right at the crossbar. Like literally right at the crossbar. So I think we're gonna have to go over the crossbar. What do you guys think? Oh, that's a 10-inch. This flower is going to measure 22 inches from starting it on a 10-inch frame. Pretty darn cool. All right, guys, I'm back. Make sure that's off. And we're going to continue to put some petals on this wreath. Oh, for God's sakes. This gets really annoying after a while. Because I'm trying not to... rub up against these out here. Because I don't want to fray the mesh. But it's just not the easiest thing, honestly. Still don't know exactly what I'm going to do in the center, because I am going to need a different petal to go in the center. And I'm just debating on what I want it to be. I have these little I have a little triangle petal that I made. It's pretty cute, but it's pretty small. Or just try to spread it out a little more. All right, so there is our flower so far. What do you guys think? Looks pretty neat, doesn't it? Okay guys, we finished putting all of the petals on the wreath. Now we're doing the center. You're probably wondering why I'm standing here waving around a gold roll of mesh. Well, it's an ugly yellow gold mesh that I want to get rid of. I'm making a daisy chain petal with this cream colored wide stripe. This is going to be just a structure, this gold. We're going to put more of this ribbon over top of the gold and then tuck it inside the daisy petal, or the Liz petal is what it's actually called. Once you start adding to it, then it becomes the daisy chain petal. So normally I would cut this at 10.5 inches because it is 10.5 inches wide, but the edges will not be seen in this petal. So we are going to not worry about that 1/2 inch. Okay, now I'm not sure exactly how many I'll need of these. Because I'm thinking about doing a red poly burlap Star Trek petal in between them, but I'm not positive yet. So I think I'm only gonna cut 6 of these to start. There's 3, 4. Six. Okay. And then we're going to do some of this. So it should be pretty straight from the last time I used it. And we're going to cut these at 10 inches as well. There's 2. Three, 4, and just 2 more here. Okay, there's 6. Okay, sorry guys, I'm like really hot. I think I need to cut these at 10 inches. Let me see. They're so curly, they're going to be a pain in the patukas. About 5, yeah, because these should be about 5 inches. And then we'll cut this at 10. All right, maybe a little longer than 10 because I'm coming up just a bit short on this now. Yeah, see, I ended up a little short on that. This one will be much easier to roll. So we're gonna fold this almost to the top, about half an inch away. It's not completely to the top. And then we're going to fold it in half again, and this time it is completely to the top. Stick your finger in there and just kind of pull it down. Okay. And then we want our folded edge to be out. I wonder if the other side looks decent because the gnomes are upside down. So there's the messy back. You can see the folds and everything. And then there is the front. So that is the daisy chain petal that we are going to make. I hope it looks okay in here. Let's see. I can't pick it up. What do you think? Think it's gonna look all right? And then maybe a red star track in the center, or maybe I should just do all of these. I don't know. I can't seem to decide. Okay, sorry guys. I had some calls to make and I couldn't be on the phone, and I did kind of keep going with this. So let me do the last one for what I have cut. Okay, so we're gonna take our cheap piece of mesh that we don't really care about using up for nothing, and we're going to fold it into a triangle. Mine is awful curly. I hope yours is not this bad. But you want to try to keep these together while you smooth this down. It's not easy. And then you're going to bring this up to a half an inch before the tip, and then you're going to fold it again and bring it all the way to the top. And then you're just going to flip it over your finger and just get it to lay as nice and as flat as you can on each side, or whichever side. As long as you get one side looking nice, you don't need to worry about the other side. Take our ribbon and we're just going to fold the edge in a tiny little bit, and I'm actually going to put a smidge of glue. Not enough that it's going to soak through or anything, but just enough that it'll hold. And see, that worked. So That's actually the first time I did that. I've just been fighting with it. I'm tired of fighting with it. I feel like we're almost always gonna have just the little gnomes in the front. Okay, and once you get this inside, you're gonna take a zip tie, 6-inch, whatever's easier. We're gonna wrap it around just like that. And then I'm gonna pull it and keep it on the side because I don't want that ribbon getting too bunched up on me. See, that is okay because it's staying straight. Clip that off. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and cut this little bit of gold off now. Smooth that down. It doesn't matter. You guys can do it this way. You can do it this way. It doesn't matter. Whatever's easier for you guys in folding. 1/2 inch away from the top. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that or not. I'm about 1/2 inch from the top there. And then we're going to fold it completely in half. So all the way to the top, okay? And then if you see, my shorter ends are here and it's longer out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to fold it over my finger. You're always going to have to play with it to kind of push it in there a little bit. Your fold's never going to end up perfect when you do that. But we have a nice loop, and I'm showing you the folded side, not the unfolded side, because you want that to the back and you want the nice folded side and front. So we're just going to wrap this around just like that. And you might have to do a little finagling with it once it's in there. I usually have to. And then we're going to take another zip tie. And then we're going to pull it around to the back. And cut that excess off. And there is another daisy chain petal. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With enough room to put plenty of room to put a Star Trek poly burlap in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, and I think this wreath will be almost finished. All right, everybody, my phone did not record the Star Trek petal, so I'm gonna cut one more piece of mesh for anybody that needs to know how to make the Star Trek petal. This is what it looks like. This is the back side, this is the front side. And when you cut this, you want normally you want a 10 by 10 piece, but for this in particular, You know, instead of wasting this red, I'm gonna get a different poly burlap. Hold on a second. I found a piece. I don't know why it looks like this. It was like the last piece on the roll and one, I don't even know why I kept it. I don't think it'll matter. So top corner to bottom corner. Okay, and for this particular time, we cut it at 10 by 9.5. So 9.5 inches long, and it's naturally 10 inches wide. So just fold this in half like the Star Trek ship. So one triangle, then another triangle. My open end is on my left. And what I do is I turn it so my open end is facing me. And then you hold the tip down and you put your fingers and your thumb on either end and you give it a slight pull of resistance as you're bringing the ends together here. Look straight down on top so that you can see that it's lined up. And then you're gonna push this down in the center and pinch it. And then fold up each of the sides. Okay, and there's your Star Trek petal. That's the back, which you can use the back if you want it to kind of curve down. If you want it to curve up, you need to have the front because there's a natural curve to it. Okay. Yeah, I'm losing my whole wreath. Then all I have done before I realized that it wasn't recording is I put one of the daisy chain petals in. Okay, and then one of the Star Trek petals. I'm going down one hole, and skipping one, and then coming up the next one. And honestly, I do not know if we are going to be able to get all of these to fit or not. So I have those three. I am going to do one. Let's see if I can cut off any of this. And that'll just make my life a smidge easier. Because I don't think I can fit any more in there. Let me take out the reds. Alrighty. Let's try feeding some zip ties in here. All right, that one just wants to keep, oh, this one came out. How nice. I am not sure anymore if the I'm not positive that the gold is going to look right in the center. Three more to squeeze in there. Two more, and if I don't spray all this ribbon or mesh, I will be shocked. Last one. And then I have to figure out what I'm doing for the center, because I don't think that the gold is going to look good. right, guys. What do you think? Is it too much? Is it ugly? Is it gorgeous? What do you guys think? Now I gotta go figure out a center.